You bought Tesla, which is interesting to me. I think will be interesting to our viewers as well. And it's also worth noting that the ARK stocks have made a comeback of their own, by the way. Over 1 month, Tesla's up 11%. You can go Teladoc or Roku or Zoom. Zoom's up 21% over the last month. Square, the same amount. Shopify, 24. Palantir, 25. You get the idea. Fastly, 29. There's some really sizable gains in these stocks, Joe. But why Tesla?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I began to look at these emerging growth stocks, and I purchased CrowdStrike. Now I look at where we are, and I understand that trades are very difficult to come by right now. We're clearly seeing a market that is consolidating, and you're certainly seeing volatility begin to diminish. So there is this narrative, which I agree with, towards mega cap technology, but I'm already there. I own Alphabet. I own Amazon. I own Apple. I haven't stepped in and bought Amazon. What I do think investors will be doing now, and why I am going with this, to borrow Liz's word, momentum trade, this has nothing to do with fundamentals, is you will see a mean reversion performance chase towards both Netflix and Tesla in an attempt for there to be a recovery. And Scott, you're already seeing it in the last week. If you measure the performance of Tesla and Netflix relative to the other mega cap technology stocks, they are outperforming. So this is a little bit of a catch-up period. I want to play in that catch-up period for a trade. I've got to stop it in Tesla below 593.5, which is the June 16th low. We've made a series of higher lows over the last 3 months in Tesla, and I'm going to go with this trade because in this environment where we've got the stabilization of rates, I'm trying to capture an opportunity in mega cap technology where there's been an underperformance.
All right, I want to get to one thing you just said, the stabilization of rates, because I think that is one of the biggest debates, not only in the market, but on this program today, right? It's because I think Liz would maybe take issue with the comments about the stabilization of rates for now. However, John Najarian, before we do that, you own Tesla calls. What do you make of this new buy from Joe, and also the way that he did the particular trade that he did?
Well, I like it, Scott. I mean, I think when we turned through 600 to the upside and then burned through several levels on the way up through the mid 600s, I think the next stopping point is 700, quite frankly. Just over 700 would be the next pivot that I'd see. And you can certainly make a case for some of the volatility that Tesla's seen. Part of that that you addressed with the, or Steve did perhaps, with the Bitcoin when he brought it up. Because that volatility in Bitcoin obviously hurts, it cuts both ways. It hurts or helps. So in the case of Riot or Mara or MicroStrategy or even Square and PayPal, Tesla included in that group, when it's going up, yeah, that's great, because these are companies that are recognized as being part of that ecosystem in one way or another, either through ownership or through distribution. And when it goes down as hard and as fast as it went down, and yesterday may have been one of the best trading bottoms we've seen in a while, takes a while to see for sure, Scott, and we do have that Ethereum expiration of options on Friday, but nonetheless, Tesla does move up and down pretty rapidly with the ups and downs of that particular cryptocurrency. So I like Joe's pick. I welcome you into the water, Joe. It's fine. I think we'll both be happy in the mid 700s in the not too distant future, and I look forward to that.